The soft top roof on this Mazda MX-5 is not in the best of condition, so I'm after picking up a new one. Yes, it's looking a bit sorry for itself here. Somebody's obviously ripped through it at some point or another, which is unfortunately the case with these cars. It does sometimes happen. And a bit of rust showing through and a bit of shrinkage. Nobody likes shrinkage. And plus, it's got the plastic rear window, which is actually in pretty good condition. The other thing as well is it's a nightmare for my wife to close. I can just about close at times as well, but it tends to get stuck. So here's the roof I got. It's a Mohair hood, or canvas, I suppose you could call it. But doesn't that look nice? And it's got the glass window. But I have to love the sticker. Unfortunately, that sticker can't stay. We're going to probably try and peel it off in one piece and put it on the inside of the boot lid or something like that. But there, sure, it blocks half the back window and that kind of defeats that purpose. So we're going to get this installed. I'm about to say it, and this is the rock I will perish on, but this should be a relatively straightforward process. Oh, even just saying it, I know it's not going to be, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go, and you guys are going to join me along the way. First part of this puzzle we need to tackle is getting this piece of plastic off, which goes down around the seat belts and down to the bottom there behind the seats. So we'll pop that off now. First thing we need to do is you need to take out that little Phillips screw. I'm not sure if they're Phillips or JIS. They're certainly not posi drive anyway, so make sure you get the right screwdriver. And then we're going to take out this little popper here as well. I imagine that's for your tonneau cover if you're using one. That allows you to pop this lad off here. Now I'm going to peel back this. And just slips out from underneath there. Get that out of our way, and let's have a look and see what else we need to remove. There's another one of those little popper gizmos down there, so we're going to remove that as well. And then there's this fella here where you actually pull the centre of it out. I find you can just get them with your nail usually, and then it just pops out like that. I'm just putting all the stuff in the centre console here. And that should be fairly close to being removable now at this stage. Let's have a look and see. Just kind of feeling my way around this. Never done this job before, so bear with me. And then that allows you to remove this. You just get your seatbelt untucked there. Helpfully, they put a notch in it to allow it to go around the seatbelt reel rather than you having to try and take the seatbelt reel off. This is now giving us access to 3 12mm bolts here, which we will come back to in a little while. So with the roof back up now, we can start attacking the fasteners around the back of the carpet here. So we're going to pull the little doofers out here to go right the way around, and we'll get the carpet peeled back, and when I have that off I will bring it back. Once you have the carpet pulled back, you can see there is a series of 10mm nuts. There's 13 of them in total. So, and then there's 3 strips of metal that need to be removed. So if this strip of metal is held on by these nuts, so you will need to remove them. So I'm going to buzz them all off now, and some of them are looking a little bit on the corroded side of things. I think a little squirt of UB40 or something along those lines might not do us any harm. And there's the first strip of metal out. So Mazda very helpfully actually give you a little access hole down here to get at the last nut down there. So that definitely makes life easier for a job that is also otherwise fairly awkward given the space I'm working in. I'm not a small man. Now the other thing as well to note is you have to take these lads off before you can get this off, or at least get one of them off, because it kind of gets wedged in place. This car tried to swallow my 10mm socket. I'm not having that. Give it back. Right, so now that we've got the metal strips out of the way, now we can take this piece out. And that comes out like so. And here we have it. And we'll now be able to actually take the roof fabric away. Now you see, what's concerning me at this point in time is somebody has been in here before, so that does not look right to me. Is there anything in this car not bodged at some point or another? Right, anyway, look. We'll continue on with the third. So that's them all undone. And the last thing we can do now is take out our 12mm bolts, which are in here. And I've already loosened them. So they'll come out. And then that should allow us to lift the roof off. Well, there's a little blocked drain down there. There's a little puddle of water, so we need to figure out what's going on there. I'll get a poking device and see if we can free that up, and I'll have a look at the one on the other side as well. Nice little while you're in there job actually is to take these out altogether and give them a clean. This was completely plugged up with years upon years of silt and sludge and a few broken fasteners and stuff like that as well from probably the last time the roof was removed. But anyway, it's all good now, so what I'm going to do is try and slot it back in and see if I can get the hose to come out the bottom where it's supposed to. There's a hole kind of just up at the forward end of the inner wing. In behind the wheel arch liner. I can barely even feel it, but anyway, it's up there, take my word for it. So I loosely have the brackets here bolted in with just one bolt on each side just to kind of get them correctly positioned. And if you look here, see this bolt? That is not meant to have a nut on it. That is actually just a little stud that sits down onto. So if you put a nut on it, you won't be able to open the roof because that actually moves up out of the way. So it'll be the same on this side. We just basically have the roof sitting down on that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get our piece of plastic trim in. This is the one that came with the new roof. Now, it's got bits of duct tape along it, but that seems to be just to protect the holes, and I quite like that methodology, so we're going to go with it. But what we want to do here is the roof is supposed to slot down into that right the way along, and it wasn't like that on this one. It was in behind it, so that was absolutely serving no purpose. And yeah, so this is we're going to do it right this time, make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. So let's put this onto the studs first of all. I just want to give the studs a little coat of primer or something to protect them, just to stop them from corroding anymore. Right, so this is all installed along here the right way around. The other one was in fact upside down, so it wasn't really serving any useful function whatsoever. So what we can do now is I'm going to undo the clips holding the roof in place, and we're going to just heel it back a little bit so that we can get these lads all into position right the way along, and then we can get our strips in, and I suppose the middle one first, and we'll just keep everything loose. I'm not going to tighten any bolts until we have our positioning correct. So I'm going to crack on here. Now, one thing to note is these strips here need to be attached in as well, so make sure that you do. I'm not sure yet which hole they actually go in. When I know, I'll let you know. I'm kind of just trying to work my way along from the side actually, I think. Not sure if that's the best method or not, but so far it seems to be working to some degree. I imagine those strips go right the way down alongside the back window and end up at the back. So they're just hooked on there, so I'm going to do the same on the other side here now. So those straps go onto the first hole on either end of the long piece that goes in the middle, so it'd be like the fourth one on either side from the seatbelt, as confirmed by Mr. Robert McGuire, who is the one who actually sold me the roof. I should have been paying attention when we were removing it, but I didn't actually think to look. But anyway, at least I know now, so let's keep going. This is a tricky enough job as it is without trying to film it, but if you, like what I've done is I've actually kind of stuck my head in there and used my head to hold up the glass while I'm putting the nuts onto that strip. So they're all on, and the straps that go down the sides there are in position as well. So That's they're on loosely now. I haven't actually tightened anything. So now I'm going to get the ones in on the side, and when I have that done, I'm going to bring it back because look, I could try and film it, but I think even you watching me doing it is not necessarily going to help you a huge amount. All you have to do is basically tuck the roof in there, and then get the strip on. There you go. And then once we have the strip on there, which is this fella, then we'll be good to go. So I'm going to get the nuts on. I cannot do it one-handed here, folks. Right, so now that I have the bolts in loosely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get everything lined up and get the front catches closed so we can start actually bolting things up correctly. Might be robbing the catches off the old roof actually because they're in better condition than the new one, funnily enough. All right, so there we go. So there's the roof basically closed. So what I need to do now is I need to start getting the bolts at the back all done up, or the nuts at the back done up, and then get the rest of our bolts in at the pivot points, because this is essentially the position we need it in now at this point in time. And then if there's any kind of movement to be done afterwards, what we can do is we can slacken things off. But we've got a decent tension on it there now. It is looking well, actually, I have to say. It's really looking great. There's a couple of little marks on it here and there, but nothing we'd be too concerned about. But certainly looks a hell of a lot better than the old roof does. Right, one of the issues I have now is that the bracket is twisted here because I only put one bolt in. So now what I need to do is just try and knock that down into position. Or what I'll do is I might just undo the catches and see if it'll drop down into position. And if we can get the bolts in loosely and then tighten them up afterwards. Yeah, no, it hasn't dropped down at all. I need to get something to give it a tap. Right, I'm just gonna... Right, let's have a look and see now. Yeah, okay, so if I heel it back like that, and get the bolts in. It's sitting down onto its little stud there. So that's what's going on basically. This is not sitting down onto that stud there, and it needs to be, because I can't get the other two bolts in apart from anything else. So I just need to figure out why that is and put it right. Right, I have loosened the bolts again on both sides because I want to do this all over again because things weren't right beforehand. So let's see how things line up now. It's kind of pushed off to the passenger side, so I'm going to just give it a little pull here. Not looking too bad at all. So now I'm just going to do up the bolts around the back and see how it operates. Right, so now I have the bolts all tightened, well, the nuts all tightened along the back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change out the catches for the ones off the old roof, because the ones off the old roof are actually in better condition. So we will at least have decent catches to go on. In actual fact, the adjuster is actually even broken on this one. So it's an easy little fix.
Yes.
What do you think, Owen? It looks better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks now. I think it makes the car look an awful lot better, a higher quality car.
Yeah. How does glass fold?
It doesn't fold. I'll show you how it works now in a minute. The glass doesn't fold. It just kind of tucks away underneath. So the new catches are going on here now anyway. Well, the new old ones, and but with the new screws. Okay, so we're gonna close it up. The catches are adjusted out to their last position. And we just pull it down like that. still over on that side. It's a bit longer on that side. So I'm wondering if let me see. I need to have a think about how to fix this one. For something as transformative as this job, it actually really didn't take a huge amount of time, comparatively speaking, and I'm really impressed with the end result. This is the fabric hood of an MX-5 NB, it's a later generation car, so we can see here it will fit, and I think it really looks great. So definitely something to consider. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or observations or anything like that, please do comment below and let me know. I always read the comments. And I'll see you in a future video. Please hit the subscribe button before you go if you haven't already. I really do appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.